Hey guys, it's Alexis. I am back with a brand new video. Happy Monday as always. Thank you for being here. Today I'm outside. If you've seen my other videos, I love the summer season. It's one of my favorite seasons. So if we have some outside noise, that's what that is. But let's talk about today's video topic, which is how to make yourself the center of your reality and focus so that you can create exactly what you're wanting with your SP. Now, I have a client success story to share, and all my videos do not have success stories, but this one does. I've got my coffee. I do not think it's going to be a long video, but let's talk about it. And let's talk about, why do we not focus on self? Where does the pattern come from? The thing is this: whether you're terming reality creation with your thoughts as law of assumption, or whether you're terming it as the law of attraction, it is the same. So the reason why most people haven't really learned and understood in their adulthood how to focus on themselves is because most of their lives, in their childhood, early adolescence, and even in adulthood, they have not focused on themselves. They've focused on other people. And usually it's focusing on other people. What are people doing to us? How are we at the effect of our reality, instead of being in control and in charge of our reality? We do have a dog. I wonder if you guys can hear her. She's decided to dig a hole in the dirt right by our avocado tree. So she's too big to get up here, so she won't say hi in the video. But out of all the videos I've ever done, I don't think any of them have ever been outside. And I've never cut a video from this spot in our backyard. So in any event, very funny. So you guys, we've been programmed to focus on everybody else, right? Even if you are using, like, let's use some things that are popular these days, social media, whether it's Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, etc. The idea that there are now influencers, right? Which means that you're on social media being influenced by someone's habits to buy something, someone's perspective, to buy into it, or, it's usually products, right? So that, even in itself, influenced, is something else telling us, go outside of yourself, look at what he or she is doing, and then maybe this will work for you. But really, it's like this: look at what I'm doing. This will work for you because it works for me, and focus on me, right? Now, nothing wrong with Instagram, nothing wrong with social media. Here I am on a social media avenue, which is YouTube. We just want to understand that's why we have relationship breakdowns. A lot of issues in life is the lack of ability to come back systematically and through habit to focus on ourselves. And actually, oftentimes, a lot of people have heard that focusing on self is selfish, that actually making yourself, underlying all the things that you do, a priority and an important person, and never leaving yourself, rejecting yourself, or self-abandoning, which means that you can show up for other people in your reality. You can take care of other people. You can be there for people. You can listen to people. You can talk to people. You can interact with people. I interact with a lot of people on my daily life as clients, in my personal life, my family life, my husband, my kid, our dog, etc. Right? But who am I being underneath all of that? And I want you to ask yourself, who am I being underneath doing everything, right? Am I tending to reject myself? Am I tending to abandon myself? And that's just because you haven't yet learned and focused on that reality comes from you. You're the creator of your reality. So who you're being and what you're thinking about you is the most important thing, right? And like, right, all my videos are about SP, specific person, but really it should be IP, insignificant person, because they're insignificant to what's going on, you guys. The most significant person and the most special, specific person in your reality is you. Okay. And the success story today talks about that. It's about a client of mine who was really having so many ups and downs with the SP. They had been together off and on for roughly 3 years. They had a major breakup. He dated somebody else. He was engaged at one point. Okay. And it was all through her understanding and bringing her viewpoint back to herself. That's why a list of affirmations about other people and what they're doing, like making something happen, is where there's a lot of, it's ineffective, right? You have to change who you are in this scenario. And just like she did. Now, before she came to coaching, she had done a lot of other coaching. She had done a lot of other things. She had done a lot of self-help. She'd actually taken a coaching thing herself. Okay. But she still couldn't get her focus to herself. She was very triggered and affected by things happening outside of her with the SP on a daily, almost hourly, consistent basis. And that's what I've often seen with so many people. Okay. So I'm also going to give some examples of things I gave her examples to do that were outside of mental diet and outside of thought creation. But the thing is that who you decide you are in your given scenario and who you're deciding you are, who you think you are in reality as a whole is the reason why things are or aren't happening. And again, this is all about you. So it's not selfish to focus on yourself, meaning that you're changing how you view yourself. When you actually do this correctly, you're more able to be present for other people, show up, whatever, for other people, be around other people, because you're more in touch with you, more giving care to you, more being focused on you in the way that will allow all relationships and your relationship with yourself to flourish. Okay. Now, and this is not necessarily even about being selfish, but it's about not letting other people take yourself out of the self-focus game. I cannot tell you how many people do this and then they don't realize they're doing this. They get out of resistance about their specific person, right? And they drop the old story, and then the SP comes in, and it seems like it was such a coincidence. I had that happen to one of my very lovely clients recently. You know who you are. He came back, like, and she's like, oh my God, but yeah, he just randomly came back. And I said, this is not random. Nothing in reality is a coincidence. It's not random. He came back in because you dropped the story about him. You got out of resistance about it, out of having to make something happen. You made yourself the priority. You focused on yourself differently. He finally got the thoughts because you were able to really be in the place of reality creation, being the creator, being the center of it all. And then it folds in, or it flies in, it comes in. It lands in. You call it in. All the things. Okay, now let me get to the actual success story. You guys, it's just so nice to be out breathing the air outside. My son and I were inside all day until he just left. And I kept on thinking, I've got to get out into the sunshine. But look at, I'm still making the video for everybody. And just letting everybody know, I am not required to make a video every Monday. I can make videos as I want, but I have committed to it. And it's also part of my routine, but come hell or high water. Well, I shouldn't say that, right? It's not a good affirmation, but I still make time for it because I know that it's important for consistency for everybody that watches these, you know, and to tell the success stories, obviously. Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm having a hard time finding it. Okay. Dear Alexis, thank you so much. I am finally here with my success story, and I have an update that you are more than welcome to make into a video on the channel. After months of coaching with you, and really you telling me over and over again that I had to focus on myself, think of myself differently, and reframe the scenarios with my SP, he got down on one knee last night and proposed to me. I am so excited. I am over the moon, and all I see now is everything coming together because I fully transformed and changed my relationship with me. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and your no nonsense approach, and you gently kicking my butt over and over again. Personal things. I want everyone to know that the journey to this and my journey of self-actualization and recreation was not easy. I had done coaching with other people from other channels and even some other coaches before Alexis. But once I came to her, I really felt like I was done and that she was my last hope. Well, you know, you made it happen. So I can't thank her enough for all of her guidance. But the thing that I was not understanding all the way along with the, and she puts in quotations, SP manifesting, was that it really was all about me. Now, you guys, if everything is all about us, then why are we thinking so negatively about ourselves? We all know that we tend to overthink, and she wrote, and underthink. What does underthink mean? Overthink and underthink ourselves, and that most of us are very self-deprecating in our minds about ourselves. Now, why are we doing this? These were the questions that I began to ask myself as I was going on to the journey of what Alexis calls thought recreation. She told me so many times that I needed to put aside the idea that I was just manifesting something and that all the laws of the universe are held into place by my thoughts and the thoughts that I am consciously thinking moment to moment. It was those that I had never actually changed. And I actually thought that I was changing them at one point. I thought that I was doing a mental diet, but I realized now that I was not. ... Fast forward now to my success story. As you can see, and as I've already said, things with my SP are better than ever. Like I said, though, the journey to get here was not easy. And I really had to reframe ideas and thoughts about myself, what he was doing and what it meant about me. And then lo and behold, now everything is coming together for us. I will be back with another update once we are married and together. And Alexis, I can't wait to see you for our next session. Big hugs, XOXOXXX. Okay. So that's the thing, you guys. If you're doing a mental diet, are you really, right? I will tell you that a lot of people, when they first come to coaching, they think that they're thinking their thoughts differently, but they really aren't. Okay. Or the other thing I see a lot is they're doing some kind of thing like a parrot app with affirmations, doing scripting with affirmations, but then all along, it's the thoughts that they're thinking throughout the day that they're unable to catch and reframe. Now, this is the thing. You do not need to think every thought, and you can't ever expect yourself that all of your thoughts throughout every day will be about what you want. Okay? You don't need to look at it that way. That's a very black and white approach, very all in, all out. And we need a gray area like 80-20. Okay. You need enough thoughts of self that are new and thoughts of the person that are new to tip it over the edge. And then therefore it all comes together. Okay. And those thoughts that you need to be thinking are indicative of you. They're particular to your situation, your mind, what your limitations are, what your ideas are about you. And the old story, changing it into the new story. Remember too, that like with this client, her old story felt so familiar. You guys, the old story will feel so easy to think. The mind will dump it and bring it up from the subconscious mind and bring it into your thought sphere, into your consciousness, into your conscious mind so easily because your mind gravitates towards what it knows. So therefore, if you've always termed yourself as like, love doesn't work out for me, I'm never getting the one I want, whoever I want doesn't want me, whenever I'm focusing on love, it's the other people that come in, yada, yada, yada. Those thoughts will come in and they will seem very real. Well, listen, every thought that you're thinking, you don't need to also think is so real and such a detriment and such a limitation. That's the problem. You also don't want to reiterate that you have so many limiting beliefs, limiting ideas, limiting limitations. That's creating a negative story of self. And like I already said in the beginning of the video, you guys, this is about you. This is all about you and being selfishly self-focused, but which means that you're putting all your focus on you and that you're learning and understanding that not everything that happens outside of you is allowed to be a negative about you. Okay. And you don't want to take this so far that it's like, okay, I create my reality, my thoughts create. So all the things that happen is a negative to me. Just as much as you're thinking that, you can say, oh, whatever's happening, like that's happening. That's okay. My thoughts create and somehow this got created, but it's not a problem. I'm still focusing on me. Things are moving forwards for me. I am creating my best life. I am having a good time. I am loved. I am adored. I am so amazing. I am so magnetic. I am so special. I am so valuable. I am so magnetic. I am so special. I am so valuable. Okay. I got a question that was sent to me from our support team. What is the power of 3 that I said in a video? It is not. What I said is the power of 3 is a term that is used in feng shui. It's used in Eastern medicine. It's even used in clothing, but clothing usually has like 3 buttons, 5 buttons, 9 buttons, odd numbers, because visually speaking, odd numbers collected together are what visually look more appealing. Like when you see, like this is my coffee cup. If you had like a medium sized one and a small one and they were grouped together, it would look more designer. The same thing with our thoughts. There is a power I have always felt in intending and saying and thinking, speaking, thinking, and saying affirmations 3 times. Like I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. You see, as I say it, A, it's hypnotic, and B, it's like it's sinking into the mind. Okay. So just to answer that question, that's what I meant by the power of 3. It's used in Eastern tradition, feng shui, like I said. It's just the idea that that there's a magic in the power of 3. I believe that to be true, so it works for me. See if you think so. Okay. And that brings us to beliefs, you guys. What are beliefs and what are limitations? Well, we all have beliefs and ideas about things, right? What you don't want to get caught up in doing is this, and I've said this in previous videos, but I'm saying it again, is creating limitations for yourself. Like, and also this is the big one. Alexis, I don't believe this, so I can't think it. Yeah, well, obviously, like, duh. Okay. If you believed it, you wouldn't have to be thinking it, right? You don't ever want to be understanding, okay, so this is happening. I'm creating my relationship. I'm creating love and lovability. And then thinking I'm lovable, I'm valuable, I'm amazing. Love is happening for me. And then getting stuck. And the limiting belief land is what I call it. And saying like, oh, but I don't believe those. I don't believe this. Yeah, well, duh, you don't believe it. That's why we're thinking it. As you generally think and systematically train the mind to think about what you want, you change the belief anyway. So there's no reason for you guys to waste time telling yourself, I don't believe this. Okay. You accept that you don't. A belief is like, listen, I've got a belief that we have this vine in our backyard, and I've got a belief that we have the avocado tree. And I've got a belief, apparently, that the dog likes to come out. I'm just kidding. That's just something that occurred. The dog in the dirt. Okay. But let's go for a more generalization, right? I believe these things to be true because I live here and I see them every day. This is in my reality. So I believe it. Now, do I even notice I believe it? No. It's a part of me. Like, do I believe my name is Alexis? Yes, I have a knowing that my first name is Alexis. Okay. It's funny because if you get married, right? You guys know I'm married. If you get married, you really have to understand when you change your name on legal documents, right? And then things come as that name, that it takes some time to build the belief of the new name. You'll see it at first and it's like, oh, right. The name I had for so many years is no longer me. And then you're building the belief and the idea by seeing and thinking, oh, I'm Alexis XYZ. Same thing is with everything, you guys, but it's a knowing, okay? You don't need to get caught up in, I don't believe this. That's a waste of time. It's like, oh, no, I don't believe this. But a belief is just a deeper knowing. It's a deeper conviction and understanding and assumption, an idea that's entrenched in my mind. So the more that I think this, the more that I'm staying on track, which is just more of the emphasis of thoughts create. You got to think new thoughts for it to all change. There's no way around it. If you're doing any sort of other thing, even if you're doing hypnosis with me or a hypnosis track of mine or taking one of my courses, or you're doing the Parrot app, or I have hypnosis affirmation tracks for people that like those. If you're doing those, it still doesn't mean that the rest of the day you just la and think whatever you want to think, because you're going to think the old story. Same thing with sleep tracks. If you're doing sleep tracks, I do not like those. I think when you're sleeping, you want to be turning off the mind and releasing things from the mind. You want to be dreaming. You want to have restful sleep. But if you're doing that, it doesn't mean that it's enough that the rest of the day you just think whatever you want to think. Okay. You got to think new thoughts, and the thoughts need to be the appropriate thoughts to change your situation about you. You are the one that has created and brought in the circumstance that doesn't matter anyways outside of you. So you are the only one who has the power to resolve, change, and recreate it. So you got to do it. Okay. This was another quick video. It's also getting pretty hot out here. In Fahrenheit, I think it's going to be about like 95 today. And for those of you who are in like middle America, okay, I get it. It's 105 there, but 95 is still pretty steamy out here. But I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I've been outside. It's been such a nice treat. Maybe I'll have more videos like this in the future. Okay. So let's come back to the concept, though, that you are the center of your reality. You're the creator of it. The people outside of you aren't even real. They're an energetic representation of the mind. I love you guys so much. I will see you in my next video, and enjoy the weather wherever you are. All right. And remember to go out today and every day this week, even if you don't go out and do it, but to remind yourself with your thoughts and your thinking that you are important, you're valuable, you're worthy, you're enough, you're beautiful, handsome, magnetic, and amazing. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.